Amen.
A froward man. Well, there's a lot of those, isn't there?
Yes, sir.
You know them. Man, you work with froward Christians. You can tell by, you try to talk to them about the Lord in the workplace and try to talk to them about how the Spirit of God moved in church on Sunday morning or Sunday night or Wednesday night, and you see how uneasy they get, and they're never bragging about the Spirit of God moving in their church. If they ever brag about something in their church, it's something that has to do with the flesh, and it's edification, and it's lifting up, and it's glorification. Hello? Y'all still on the same page with me, right? Look, I'm trying as your pastor tonight to sound a warning to you that the devil is not going to give up.
Right.
And the devil doesn't like what's going on at Bingham Heights Baptist Church.
Yeah.
The devil doesn't like the unity that's coming together with these musicians and what an answered prayer. The devil's he's not happy with the folks that we've seen saved here this year. He's not happy, friend, as he's just swung and shot those fiery darts that God has allowed him to shoot at us this year as individuals, as homes, as a church, friend. They've not accomplished what he desired for them to accomplish. And man, we're still, I thank God, shouting the victory, and we're still excited tonight, friend, and the devil's not excited about that.
Amen.
Yeah.
He's not excited about the visitation program. He's not excited about all the tracts that's being handed out. He's not excited about the tracts that's being mailed out, friend. Amen. Brother Doug and myself was talking about this junk mail business before church service. And I told him, look, since I started sending tracts out and all those envelopes, man, my junk mail is cut down. I just get 1/3 of the junk mail that I got 2 years ago. Amen. And I tried to tell my dad the same thing, man. He gets at least 20 articles of junk mail every single day. And it's got that postage paid envelope. I tried to convince him, look, don't fill out the survey. Just let me furnish you with tracts. I said, Pop, if you'll start sending tracts back and all of them, I guarantee you within a year, you won't get 20 articles a day anymore.
Right.
Amen. Yeah. The devil's not thrilled with all the money that's gone through this place this year. Amen. And everything that God has allowed us to do, and the families in the church and other families that God's allowed us to help. The devil's not excited at all about that. But that's God's business.
Amen.
Yeah.
He's going to try to discourage you and keep you from doing what you know that God's been blessing you for what you've been doing. Amen. And if you're not being blessed tonight, dear God, you need to get on board. Amen. You need to look at the ones of us that God is really blessing and the way that God is blessing our lives. And friend, you need to get on board with this thing and recognize God will do the very same thing for you if you just let Him work in your life. Amen.
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 Hello?
That's right.
That unyielding man. Look, an unyielding man, that's that individual that every time somebody mentions, oh dear God, not again. Not again. You know, pass the jug around, start passing the jug around right before Christmas. Oh my goodness. I can't believe Brother Jerry started. Look, I started passing it around in November last year. Hello? And I've already told you we're cutting back for Jubilee in 2012 unless God says otherwise. And just to kind of, you know, God's going to make it a little bit easier on you. And you ought to be excited about that, especially if you've got an unyielding wallet to start with. Amen. Man, I'm telling you, look, I'm looking around the building tonight and I know groceries is high. Man, believe me, I know groceries is high. A couple of months ago, Kroger's over there in Tennessee. I wish we had a Kroger's around here. I really do. I think we ought to petition Kroger's to build a store here in Asheville. They got a lot better prices than Ingles does. They've got a lot better prices than Bilo's does, and they've got a lot better incentives. On your Kroger card, friend, you can get gas at a Shell station, or you can get gas at a Kroger station, and based on how many groceries you bought during the course of the month, that depends on how much you get off of your gas. On my dad's card the other day before I came home, he only spent $100 in groceries this entire year, or this entire month, but I got an extra 10 cents a gallon off of gas when I filled my truck up by using his card. I started to tell him before I left, Brother Lee, before I come over next month, spend $200 on groceries. That way I get $20 a gallon, or 20 cents a gallon off next time. So I got gas the other day and filled the truck up for $2.80-something a gallon. That's exciting when you're used to paying $2.35 or $3.35.
Yeah.
They had all of their good vegetables on sale back before Thanksgiving, and it was 48 cents a can as long as you bought 10 cans. So I brought 2 truckloads home. Honest. I filled the back seat up and I filled the toolbox up. Twice. David Mitzi got a bunch of them vegetables deep throughout the winter. 48 cents a can. I'm talking about for name brand. I'm not talking about store-bought. Say, what's that got to do with anything? I'm looking at you and I realize groceries have gone up, but y'all ain't missing a meal. God's blessed you.
Amen.
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 Amen. Ain't nobody around here losing any weight except for the individual that wants to lose weight. Nobody here tonight, friend, you're looking in your face with adversity and you're saying, preacher, I just don't know where my next meal's going to come from. I'm just on the brink of starvation. I haven't ate since last Monday. You'd be lying if you said that.
Right.
Yeah.
God's been good to us.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
That unyielding man. Look, why don't you just yield to the Spirit of God and let God bless you? Why don't you get in on it, friend? Why don't you make sure? And when you get in on it, and the ungodly man comes around trying to dig up evil, to despair you and to drag you down and to get you back out of the flow of God's blessings, don't let them do it, amen. Just decide that you're going to stand for God and you're going to stand for what's right. It doesn't make any difference who it is. You're not going to have any fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, and you're going to reprove them. Amen.
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 God bless you. We have the ungodly man that diggeth up evil, and we have the froward man that soweth strife. But we don't need no strife sowed in our church.
Amen.
No.
And you need to recognize anybody that might rise up and start trying to sow strife in here.
Yeah.
Amen.
That is an unfruitful work of darkness.
Amen.
What is your responsibility? Your responsibility is not come running to the preacher and saying, oh, Brother Jerry, I've got to share this with you. No, sometime in your life, friend, you have got to decide that you're going to stand up for God. And if somebody approaches you and wants to sow strife in this body of believers and wants to do it with you, God has given you the time. God has given you the opportunity. It's time for you to stand your ground and say, I absolutely will not have. I will not hear what you've got to say. And if you don't stop now, I will take this to the preacher.
Amen.
Amen.
You got to choose in your own life. You can't go through life and have somebody constantly trying to choose for you. You can't go through life and try to have somebody fight all of your battles and stand your ground. You can't go through your life standing behind somebody else.
Amen.
Yeah.
The time must come that you stand on your own 2 spiritual feet.
Amen.
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 Yeah.
It's a must.
Yeah.
Nip it in.
Amen.
Sunday morning, December the 7th, 1941, was a day that many Americans have never forgotten about.
Amen.
And I know that we look back and, you know, and I remember Pearl Harbor. I really do. And in fact, on Pearl Harbor this year, on Pearl Harbor Day, I was sharing with Brother Mike, we down there in Destin, we went to a little old thrift store, and I was browsing through the books, and I found a book on Pearl Harbor that I've never seen. And I gave 54 cents for it. And it's got pictures in it that I've never seen anywhere else. It's got pictures that the Japanese Department of Defense had released over the years and was compiled and put in this book. And man, I was just delighted to give 54 cents. And I know, friend, they were our enemy. But you have to stop and think about something. On the other hand, we are theirs. We were theirs. It's not like America hasn't done some of the same things down through the years.
That's right.
Amen. We always look at our enemy and put them in this light and how just the atrocities that they committed, friend. But reality is, if you're going to fight, if you're going to be a soldier of Jesus Christ, then there's times that you've got to march out against your enemy. And there's times, friend, that you have to not be concerned about political correctness and what other people think. And there's times, friend, that you don't just stand back in a defensive stance and wait on somebody to attack you. Friend, there's times that as the army of God, you must march out and you must strike first. Amen.
Amen.
That's the day that got America into World War II. Amen.
Right.
December the 6th, 1992, God put me here to fight a foe.
Amen.
I never even realized it till this year, Brother Lee, that, man, I should never forget Pearl Harbor Day, because Pearl Harbor Day is on the 7th, and my anniversary with the church is on the 6th.
2 wars started.
Amen.
Yeah. Amen.
And hey, look, this war isn't over.
Amen.
No.
We're still fighting a war. Amen.
Amen. Yep. Will till Jesus comes.
Absolutely. And you need to understand that tonight. Look, that's one of the reasons why that I read about wars, and I read about fighting, and I read about all those things, friend. I've told you this before. That's one of the ways that you learn your enemy. You must learn your enemy. If you don't learn your enemy, you're never going to be able to recognize your enemy, and you're never going to be able to defeat your enemy.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's good.
You need to read this book, and you need to read other things, friend. You need to study a little bit about warfare. And you need to see how God has worked for you. I went in the stores the other day, and I'm excited about this. I found a book, and the title of it is Refuge in Hell. And I know that sounds wild, but it's a book that was written about the Jewish hospital, freedom that God kept His hand on in Nazi Germany. It was there in Berlin, and God took care of those Jewish doctors, and God took care of Jews right there through all of World War II. And man, I'm excited that that's going to be one of my next books that I read. Mitzi picked it up last night and said, "Daddy, have you read this yet?" I said, "Lord, just got it yesterday." And she said, "Can I read it?" I said, "Read it." And friend, listen, you can read those things and see how God has had His hand on His people of Israel all of these years, and recognize the fact that God does the very same thing for the church of the living God. Amen. You just have to let Him.
Amen.
And you have to want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Amen. That's Him, yes.
History hasn't always told the entire truth. All the Jews were not killed in Germany. All the Jews were not driven out of Germany. God kept a remnant.